This is the behind the scenes for The Younglings, my latest film. I'm doing something a little bit different for this. I'm doing more of a director's commentary, and I'll be pausing the video and talking about some stuff that I found interesting. So the first part was this warning at the start of the video, and I wasn't exactly sure if I wanted to put this in. There's some stuff that may be disturbing for some audiences. I think it was enough. I don't know if it was enough to have this warning in it, but I wanted to be safe. Okay, so the first thing is this shot right here where they're running down the hallway. And that's actually a pretty simple shot. The characters and the camera are all stationary, but it's the Jedi Temple columns that are flying past on this little track that I have, and there's just two of them, and they repeat, they cycle. So that's actually pretty simple.
Blast them.
Hold them off.
So I put the gray in the background of this because I really I didn't want to build like an entire hallway going back. That wasn't really worth it. I don't think it distracts from the experience too much. It's just kind of like a time-saving method.
Kiara!
Go. Run.
So with this film, I've been trying to use a lot more putty and like kind of clay type of things to get better animation. So this, Kiara doesn't have any legs. It's just her body on the ground having like essentially some sticky parts at the back so that she can go up and down. So that just makes it so that there's no legs in the way and you can get smoother animation and more dynamic movements with the characters other than just like having them locked in on the studs. And that'll be a theme. Like a lot of the shots throughout the film have a lot of putty in them. So with the right there where you just saw the stairs, this was actually based on the same Jedi Temple corridor that Anakin and Obi-Wan have a talk in Revenge of the Sith. Like, as you can see in this picture, I modeled it pretty closely after that area. So I kind of replicated the stairs and the columns and stuff from that location.
Sir, they're headed to the council chambers.
So that was actually the first kind of Star Wars-like transition that I've done in a film. Usually it's just like a normal cut, but for that one, I felt like it was worth it to do a little transition. So it's just a simple wipe across the screen. Now for this to get Soares, the blonde kid, to be higher than the crying child, he's kind of up on some putty, and crying child doesn't have any legs, and he's rocking back and forth on more putty. So that's kind of a theme. Like I said, a lot of putty in this one, a lot more than any of my other films.
What? What is it?
I also voice this character. I'm a lot of characters in this film. I'm Crying Child, I'm the clones, I'm a lot of the younglings. So that's not how I would like to have done it, but it was a necessary sacrifice, and I think I did a pretty good job. I don't like to put out things that I'm not happy with, so when I get to do them, I usually do them to the best of my ability, and then I'm happy with that.
I don't know, but we'll make it through this.
So that starts the beginning of kind of the recreations I did for this scene, for this kind of movie. There are three or four of them, that I pulled directly from Revenge of the Sith and what the whole thing was based off of. So this is one of them. And then he walks in, and it's all pretty much
Skywalker.
It's not exactly the same, but it gets the point across of it being the same thing.
Too many of them. What are we going to do?
Now, for that lightsaber shot where he takes out his lightsaber, he's actually up on some bricks to get him a little bit higher up than the younglings. That was mainly to get the shot, but it also makes them look a lot shorter instead of being more or less a similar height if Anakin had been on the ground. But when he's up taller, it makes him look like more of a fully grown adult than the smaller younglings. So for that shot with the legs are just kind of up on a platform, and I have the lightsaber that falls down. It's attached to his legs with more putty, and then just kind of clatters to the ground. And then while he's choking and his arms are kind of going and grabbing his neck, his arms are detached from his body and stuck on with more putty. A lot of putty in this, like I keep saying. But that just kind of helps get the force choke effects. Then because you can't do that if the arms are attached to the body. You can't get him to grab around his neck like that. So I had to find something else to work, and it works really well. Having it like attached to the front and then him grabbing it, I really like how that came out. So then when his head falls off, like for that first part where it's kind of in the air, that's similar to the legs, how it's like attached from a thing. And then it falls and clatters to the ground. And that sound effect of like the head hitting the ground, that was used like a few times in the film. That was more of like a time sync method because this was finished like very, very close to release. I procrastinated a lot, so I needed to use that sound effect a few times. Like when Kiara dies, it's used like twice, and it's used here. And pretty sure it's used like other places too. Like when an arm falls off, there's like two of those. But yeah, I got some good mileage out of that. So when Croc Kid's head falls off, Crying Child is raised up on some bricks, and his head is also raised up on some bricks, and that just slides down because it's on top of more putty. Um, so he can fall down and have a smooth animation. And I just kind of that was like a one-off shot. Like I didn't have this in the original scripting, but I kind of set it up and I was like, I can't have this kind of head fall off when he slices it because then you see the neck part where it attaches, and I didn't really like that. So I would say, how about you just see the head and then it falls down? What's behind the head? Let's put Crying Child behind the head. So it's kind of like I just kind of set up the shot and did it without scripting, and I really like the shot. This is one of my favorites. All right, and when Anakin cuts off the arm of that kid, the arm was never attached to the body. I kind of used forced perspective to make it look like that. But the arm is stuck onto the front of the body with more putty. And then as he like raised his lightsaber up, I kind of just moved it out, and it looked like it sliced it clean off when it was never attached in the first place. And this arm that you're seeing right now, that was raised up on some bricks and not attached to a body because you can actually like see like the plug where it goes in, and it's stuck on with more putty. And then you saw Thanos there. He was stuck on some putty on the ground. Another gray in the background. I probably should have done like the Jedi Temple, but I didn't. I don't really know why. Mainly because I didn't really know where he would actually be. So I kind of just stuck him on in the middle there, put some gray in the background, and it works fine. So that was kind of the final few shots. When the two younglings kind of slide over to protect the crying child, they're on more putty, and the crying child is kind of on the ground again with more putty. In the lightsaber, when he slashes like the last youngling protecting him, that's on putty, and he's on putty. And then Anakin, when he goes down, he's on putty. So there's a lot of putty. Like I keep saying, this is I hope this is gonna be a theme because I really like a lot of the animations in this. A lot better than, well, maybe not. Everything's still good enough for me, but I definitely like how this came out more so than some of the other things that I've done. The putty really helped with that, so I'm probably gonna keep using it. So that was the end of the film. Here is the set for the council chambers. I only built like half of it because you don't ever look the other direction. I did a little bit, but I didn't really know what kind of shots I would be doing. So I built the whole set in advance and then just set up the camera, putting it around different places to get the shots I needed, which was pretty cool. It's pretty accurate, a little bit smaller than it should be, but it definitely gets the point across, and nobody really notices that. That's something I like to do. If you don't really notice it, and people don't exactly know how it is, there's no point in trying to make it perfect, because it's gonna be good enough regardless. And these are just some of my actors that I brought in. So thanks for watching this behind the scenes. This one, I really like the style after doing this. It fixes a lot of the problems that I had when I originally canceled the behind the scenes a few months ago. But I really like this style of doing it with the director's commentary. I'm going to keep doing this. And next week, I'll be starting a new building series. So look forward to that. And I will see you then. Bye.